Well, hypersensitive, that is the word. That is the word to describe young women. Now, it is this hypersensitivity that is the key when it comes to Africa's economic development sustainability. That hypersensitivity is what we need, and that is what makes them the key to Africa's economy.
Africa, let us embrace one another, male or female, and exploit the many resources found in our continent together as one.
Welcome, viewers. This is the Great Debaters Contest Connect Edition. I'm Austin Nyambok.
And I am Mariam Bishar. Today we have our panel of experts discussing matters women empowerment. We're asking whether empowerment of young women is the key to Africa's development sustainability. And I'll let the panel introduce themselves first. From my right.
I'm Ron Simiu, an alumni of Mwifusi's Academy, current student of Kenyatta University. I study medicine.
Hold on, Ron. Give us a fun fact about you.
I like t-shirts.
Okay.
I'm Shinina Muthiora, an alumni of the Kenya High School. I'm a biomedical engineering student, and a fun fact about me is I love food.
I am Effie Loisakinyi, an alumni of St. George's Girls Secondary School, a current student at Daystate University undertaking international relations. And the fun fact about me is I smile all the time, hence people smile or laugh.
Very well.
My name is Claire Mushiri, a former student, State House Girls, currently studying environmental science at Kenyatta University, and I love jewelry.
Very well. Okay, based on our motion, we had Ofafa Jericho versus Starehe Boys, right? The motion was, as Mariam had stated, women are the key to sustainable development. Ofafa Jericho stated that it's not just women that should be termed as the key, but both genders work together to ensure sustainable development. What is your opinion on that?
Okay, I totally agree with the argument. The one person gave a very interesting statement where he talked about women being the key and men being the door. I don't think that's how working together works. But anyway, I think that we can't say that women are the key to sustainable development. I believe that sustainable development is based on the efforts of individuals. What are people bringing in to development? And we're not looking at who's the man and who's the woman. We're looking at who's the individual. What is the individual bringing to the table?
Okay, very well.
I have an issue with how the debaters, both proposers and opposers, objectified women. Listening to their debates, they argued along the lines of women are productive, women are hypersensitive. There was also the fact that women are less productive than men, and in all this, they alluded to the fact that women, as she said, are the key and men are the door, which is just objectification. I don't think that it is right for anyone to address women in such a way, tell them that you're supposed to cook and clean and do all that, but you're still less of a person. That doesn't make sense. And seeing that people today still look at women like that, still address women like that, still even think that is just sad for me, and I just can't. I don't understand why.
Wow, passions are running high.
Yes, I don't understand why they had to do that, and it's cut across the board. So that means that it's not a basis of argument; it's a mentality that women are still objectified, and women are still objects, and women are still a means to an end for a man.
Okay, my direct question to Ron. On the argument from the proposers, that is Starehe Boys, actually Jack Nyange gave a very interesting story at the beginning that actually created a picture that a woman was easily swayed. Furthermore, he stated, in his words exactly, that women are hypersensitive and hence it makes them easy to deal with with issues because they'll be hypersensitive to the economy, they'll be hypersensitive to development. What do you think about that?
Okay, he presented a very controversial point, to be honest. I don't know what he meant by hypersensitive, but I believe when it comes to productivity, I have to agree with Shinina. It is on the individual. You can't say that this gender is more productive than this gender on this or that. It's we need for us to sustain our economy. Each and every one of us as citizens, we have to take up the mantle, take individual effort to grow our country, to build our country, to build our nation. Yeah, that's my opinion.
Okay, Effie, still on that story, yeah, or that point. They're talking about individuals, yeah? And let's go back to the argument from the opposers. They were saying that together, right? That all of us, all genders work together to actually promote development. But what about this saying that is always thrown around media and other circles that you educate a boy, you've educated a man, right? You educate a girl, you've educated an entire community. What do you think about that? What can you say about that?
I tend to think like that is kind of true because when you educate a lady, you're making an impact to so many lives. Because once I give her knowledge, she will grow up with the knowledge, yes. She will give back. And the same knowledge that she got is the same knowledge she'll pass on to the children. Like she's passing the knowledge to the entire generation. She doesn't want to see her children languish behind and watch them fall. And yet, this is what she has been taught. So I think the generation that we are in, we ought to all come together, regardless of the job opportunity, regardless of what we are doing. Men can cook. Can't you cook?
I can cook.
So I believe you should also enter the kitchen. The same way I enter the kitchen, you should do it. The same way Shinina washes dishes, you should also do it. There's nothing like this is for a guy, this is for a lady.
The proposers alluded to the fact when they were trying to propose the fact that young women in specific are the key to Africa's economic sustainability. They alluded to things such as agriculture, especially. It's the backbone of most African economies. And they said, you know what? It doesn't matter where on this continent you go. Women are the ones who are most active on farms. They're the ones keeping filling our tables. And because of this, we need to give them a bigger stepping stone to make this, to quadruple the effect of what they're doing, make it bigger, make it better. So when they try to say that basically, you know what, we've gotten this far in a primarily male-driven society, even though women were the backbone. So what if we give them a better chance, What do you think of that?
Okay, I believe when it comes to gender, a lot of divisive politics has been played. Mm-hmm. When you say such statements, to like a man, it will appear you're saying, no, women have always been better than you. And then there are some statements which will suggest the alternative. And I believe the reason why maybe African will lag behind economically is we continue playing divisive politics in gender, in tribe, ethnicity. We should stop it like that. I believe this. Everybody should be given equal opportunity. Don't take from the boy child and give it to the girl child. Just give the girl child as much as you give the boy child. Give everybody education. Don't say it's better to educate the girl child than the boy child. Educate everyone. Everyone deserves an obligation. You don't choose your sex. You're born into it. Historically, we have looked at the gender issue the wrong way. And that's why it has failed. And if you continue looking at it that way, to continue failing.
Okay, very well. As a student of history, we actually have a unit that covers gender in African history. And we talk about the situation that African communities have mainly been patriarchal, understand? And that the women's folk in society have experienced what has been called hegemonic masculinity, i.e. that is, men have deliberately, put women down, understand? So hence, we come through affirmative action, and we actually seeing a situation where men do not have quite that influence over women in the society. And don't you think that is now creating a situation now women will give rise to something that will end up calling hegemonic femininity?
Let me just react to that, Austin. Yeah, it's a fear. A lot of guys say that. A lot of people in general do say that, and especially with the many steps we've taken to help the girl child get to a better place, it feels like we're ignoring the boy child. It feels like in our efforts to be so feminist, we might end up coming to a place where men are now at a disadvantage in society. I feel like that's a very far off projection if it were ever to come. There's still so much we have to do to just give the girl child equal opportunities to a guy that you can't even worry about that happening. And also affirmative action and feminism and all these steps that have been taken towards empowering women are not, women empowerment does not mean disempowering men. I don't take power from you and transfer it to someone else. Yeah, I just try to uplift them to get to your level. So I feel like it's a fear that doesn't really hold any water. Proper women empowerment, proper feminism, proper affirmative action doesn't aim to take away from anyone. It only aims to uplift people, give them an equal platform so that we can have a level playing field, compete from a level spot. So I wouldn't worry about it, And if we do get to a point where we're seeing that, hey, guys are at a disadvantage, you know what? We can stop. We can stop and look at what we're doing wrong and start to rectify our ways. But yeah, that's just my opinion.
Well, if you ask me, at this point of time, when I'm seated here, when we are all seated here, we have the same opportunities.
True.
We have the same opportunities. That means that it has nothing to do with me being empowered. It has everything to do with who I am and who you have taught me to be. As a parent, as a media personality, as a role model, as a person I look up to. So there's no such thing as bringing women to the point where men are at. No, we have the same opportunities. And what we do with those opportunities is what determines where we are in life. If I go for an interview with my fellow men and I give the panel a better argument, they won't take the man because he's a man. They'll take me because of the content that's in my mind. That's all I have to say about that.
If you were to draw a specific line with one point between women and economic development, what would be that point?
First of all, I feel like this topic is basically that women empowerment has become more like a competition. Because we are all just here, people coming up with shows. I feel like the more we come up with shows to empower women, we are looking down upon men. I feel like there's need for us to stop this and work together, regardless of the gender. The same way I'm sitting here with Austin and Ron is the same way I should go out there and associate with fellow men. Instead of saying, I can only work with Claire, I can only work with Mariam, I can only work with Shanina. We all ought to just see the benefits that we get when we work together as a person. We just have to move forward with technology, and technology ensures that we work together. There's nothing that a man can do that a woman can't do.
True. Thank you very much. We're going for a short break. Please stay tuned and be active on Twitter.
They contribute to 50% of animal husbandry, 60% marketing, and 70% food produce. Now, I think that statistic doesn't make sense unless you're a woman. You can make something out of nothing. And we need these women. That is why they're the key. They are what is missing in our development economically. Thank you.
It is important for our continent to leverage all possible human energy, maximizing growth opportunities that are presented by both men and women. We should have an all-inclusive society, a society that involves both men and women, not women alone, for economic development, sustainability.
Welcome back to GDC Connect Edition. Today we're discussing matters empowerment women and how women in Africa might be the key to economic development and sustainability. And I remember before the break, Ron was really burning. He had something to say. So Ron, what was on your mind?
I believe this affirmative action in South America, they have never had that affirmative action. In most countries, that is, as far as that's concerned. People just did the best they could. And if you are a woman, you are promoted. And that's how to bring about social change. Laws will never be powerful enough to give you equality. Social change will be. So I believe this. All we need to do is to give equal education to both the boy child and the girl child. Something that has been achieved in Kenya. To be honest, it has been achieved. And then from that, everybody fights for themselves. But now when we have like bills that say, this number of seats have to go to these individuals and these other seats have to go to these individuals. No, that is just wrong. You need to get the best individuals there. If, for example, you're running a company and you have like a board of directors, if it happens that just all the best directors that you interviewed are male, pick only the males. If all the best directors that you have interviewed are females, pick only the females. Pick only the best that is available to you. And that is the only way to sustainable economic development.
Okay, a quick poll. If we had the mandate, who's for scrapping the 2/3 rule? If we had the mandate.
I am literally the only one who would not scrap the 2/3 gender rule. I think, and I'm going to try to not sound judgmental, this panel is very privileged. And you're all everyone here, myself included, we're all very privileged, such that we have no idea how far or how hard other people have to work to get some of the things that we don't even notice are luxuries. So we know, like none of you should be favored over a guy for a position or for a slot in school or for a seat in parliament or something of the sort. But it's not the same for everyone. I think our privilege is blinding us to the challenges that other people face. So the 2/3 gender rule, it was not instituted because of people like the ones sitting here. It was instituted because women need representation, one, and they don't get it. Women find it very hard to get into politics in the first place because of funding. And that's because of the many historical injustices that we've had, because of cultural issues. There's so many women who might want to run for MCA, but your husband is like, no, who are you how are you going to run? What are you going to do? And I think we don't see that because we are so privileged and we're so lucky to have some of these things that we take them for granted.
Okay, before you speak, may I sidestep you on one point you've actually stated? Mm-hmm. There's a young lady who wants to run for an MCA, but her husband says no, right? Mm-hmm. Her husband said no, and she wanted to run for an MCA, yeah? So if her husband if the MCA position was only for women and her husband said no, what would have happened?
She still can't run because I have to go back and sleep with that same husband. I have to live in that house. He's probably the main provider.
So you see, the problem is that even whether the rule is there or not, that's not the problem.
The thing is now, when I have that woman might not get to MCA, right? Yeah. Some other woman will still get to MCA. We'll represent that one. We'll do community outreach. We'll educate both the men and women that you know what, you don't get to have authority of another person. You don't get to feel bigger or better. And I'm telling you, this is all privilege. That's why you can't see other people's struggles, because it's privilege. We are all lucky, we are all blessed, but let us see what other people lack.
The Constitution makes us all equal.
Yes.
No, we're not equal. No one is born equal to...
Legally, we're equal. Fine, we may be exposed to different opportunities, but if we're going to have a culture that separates, okay, fine, you have more challenges, we'll give you a stepping stone, and then, you have less challenges, okay, you're fine. That would create inequality. Yes. You get it? So what we should do is just say, fine, let us create a level playing field.
How do you create that level playing field, Austin? How, when
Claire,
I'm playing
you have something to say about this? Because
if we're jumping... Okay.
Education. Educate everyone. Simple. Good. Everybody fights for... You know why...
Okay, we need a mic this side.
You know why I like Mother Karua? Mm-hmm. She she was never a beneficiary of affirmative action, etc. She went down to the ground and fought against the men, and she won a position. That's what you should be doing.
And it's admirable.
That's what we should encourage our women
And
to
it
do.
is, I'm not refuting anything you're saying.
And I'll answer another question.
Oh my God, we're
presented.
putting Mariam under fire.
In some regions, boys are not educated because they're supposed to take care of the cows,
Yeah.
If you take this guy to school, you'll not benefit the family because he has to take care of the cows. In some places, women are not educated because maybe they are valueless, maybe they have to do the house chores, etc. So, it cuts both ways.
It's
That's
true.
why you cannot choose.
Oh, okay.
I don't
okay.
disagree.
Okay. This side is burning. This side is
I
burning.
know, just last one. I don't disagree. He said education is the key. I absolutely agree.
everyone.
You need, but the reason we have these all these structures set in place is to ensure that everyone gets that education.
And
it's to
then-
ensure that the person who would have been
And we have
But
achieved
two-third,
it.
one-third
No, no,
will
no,
okay,
will
okay.
achieve that.
Okay, hold on.
Okay,
Okay,
but-
let's Shania, let's just have the mic this side.
Well, you basically supported us by saying the reason why we have education is meant for everyone. And this is not a privilege. That's why there was education. I went to school and I joined a club called Debating Club, and I found myself here. The same way those people outside there that you're saying they don't have privileges can go to school, join the same club, and find themselves here.
How many have access to a platform like Great Debaters?
Through school and education.
How
here.
do you get them to that school? That's my question. You guys don't realize there's people who will be
Free
told
education.
don't go to school, take care of your younger brother.
No,
don't go
they-
to school, farm. Don't go to school. This is both men and women. Don't
Okay,
go to
but
school,
now
be
it-
a pastoralist.
Yeah, Claire.
How do you ensure that all of them are in that school so that they can find the great debaters, so then they can find themselves on this panel?
Educate that community. So educate the community. Allow them to understand. This is why you need to take your children to school. This is why they need the education. This is why they need to be in the place that they're supposed to be. You can't say that women are more disadvantaged. Even men are disadvantaged in some areas.
In some areas. Okay, I agree with everything you've said. And what you've said, educating the community, that is a deliberate action when you say you're educating the community so that they can let the girls go to school and the guys as well and everything. That is a deliberate action you're taking to rectify a past injustice, is it not? It is. So that's exactly what we're saying. Take deliberate steps to make sure that the injustices of the past are not carried on into the future.
Exactly, but now those steps.
It will, because it gives representation. When there's no one fighting for you in parliament, you will never move forward. You will never be able
Okay, the mic's here.
If you want something in life and you really want it, nothing is going to stop
Exactly.
you.
You guys have talked to, you said like Martha Karua, for example, she worked hard. She never relied on a two-third gender rule or a women rep seat to get there, right? So is it fair that she probably had to work much harder than any other guy in that parliament? She did twice, 3 times the work. It's the same for women in corporate life. It's the same for women in science and technology, especially those fields. Is it fair that you have to work twice, 3 times as hard to put in longer hours to fight sexism to get to the same place? Why not put you at such a place that, you know what, we put in the same amount of effort, we get the same amount of results? I don't have to overexert myself just to get a half of what someone else is getting. I don't have to eat scraps like a dog from a table.
I understand what you're saying. I really do. And I actually support you. But the thing is, we've given women an opportunity that has been given to them. But now the defining moment comes where you actually need to go and get what you've been shown is possible for you to get. I'm sorry to say, but women in parliament have not, I don't feel that they've done justice to representing the women that they've been put there to represent.
I actually agree with you on that one. Yeah.
They were privileged. They got the opportunity to be in parliament because of a law that made it mandatory that they be there. Now we need to put women there who don't just get there out of privilege, that they want to be there. They have felt the struggle of
On merit.
On merit.
That's fair enough. Yeah.
Yeah, we agree. That's the middle ground where we should all be talking at right now. We've given them the opportunity. Let's not just hand it over to them. Let's have them work for it. That creates accountability. That creates reliability of what we are trying to push. The women empowerment, that's all good. But you need to work for what you're getting, then come to you free.
Okay, I think we need to cap it off right now. But the emotions are high. I still see Shinino's burning to kill the stage. However, time's up, and we ask you, members of the audience and our viewers back home, what do you think about whether women are the only key or are the key to economic development in Africa? I'm Austin Nyambok.
And I am Mariam Bashar. Thank you to Ron, Shanina, Claire, and Effie. We hope to get more insightful views from you in the future. Catch us tomorrow.